Hello everyone, welcome to the Comic Gamer Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I am back recording. I got me a new camera. I'm going to see how this goes. So I might have some videos that are weirdly edited or just don't look right, but that's just kind of a temporary thing for now. But I'm happy to be back recording. Sorry. It took me a while because I've been trying out new things for the past few years. You guys have stayed loyal, and thank you for that. But I am here to give you my thoughts on the George Lucas fiasco that happened about a week or two ago. Now, it's still going, now people are still talking about it, so I feel like it's still a relevant thing to talk about, which is recently Bob Iger, who, if you don't know who Bob Iger is, he is the CEO of Disney. He is the head honcho of Disney. He runs the entire thing. And Bob Iger has been around for a long time. He's been running Disney for a long while now. He's been running. To tell you how long he's been running Disney. He was on a first name. He was while he was running Disney, he was friends with Steve Jobs. So that should tell you just how long he's been running Disney. This should give you a nice little idea of how long he's been running Disney. And recently, about a week ago, he came out with a book. And as he says it's a book to just tell people how it is to live that kind of lifestyle and have that kind of a job, which obviously that must be a very stressful job. I mean, you're running a multi-billion-dollar company on all these different fronts, and it's Disney and ESPN and things of that nature. So it must be a very interesting job, and the book's selling like hotcakes right now. But the thing is, in his book, he talks about a lot of things. He talks about the purchase of Marvel, his early start, the purchase of Pixar. And he kind of mentions, obviously, the purchase of Fox. There are many things inside of there. But one of the big ones that caught people's attention and got a lot of people talking is that he talked about the purchase of Lucasfilms from George Lucas. And he talks about how George Lucas and him became friends through Steve Jobs, because George Lucas and Steve Jobs were really good friends. And Steve Jobs was really good friends with fucking Bob Iger. So through that relationship, through that mutual friendship, it became abundant that George Lucas pretty much said that the only person I would sell this to is to Disney. Star Wars 2 is to Disney and is to Bob Iger. Now that's not the thing that's catching a lot of noise. The thing is, in Bob Iger's book, and I can't remember the name for the life of me, A Ride of a Lifetime, that's what it's called, A Ride of a Lifetime. Look it up. It's probably a hell of a book. I haven't read it yet, but I heard great things. In George Lucas's book, A Ride of a Lifetime, Bob Iger's book, he mentions that George Lucas felt betrayed. Because when George sold Star Wars to Disney for $4 billion in cash, and another billion, and like $4 billion in cash, and like $3 billion in Disney stock. Plus, he gets to keep. He doesn't have 100% of the merchandising and other rights anymore, but he still has a percentage of that. So $4 billion plus billions of dollars in Disney stock, which I don't know if you know this, is pretty fucking good. It's pretty fucking good, and he still has money off the merchandising, and he doesn't have to do anything anymore. That is insanity. I was like, wow, that's a lot of fucking money. And to put that in perspective, they basically paid George $7 billion. They paid $4 for the entirety of Marvel. All of Marvel. And no cuts or nothing, just Marvel itself. They paid $4 billion for the entirety of Marvel. Just to give you an idea there. But, anywho, that's what we're working with. But George, before he sold the rights to Disney, he kind of, I would say, he had already wrote up drafts of the latest episodes of Star Wars. He had already wrote up a new trilogy. The trilogy that he himself envisioned being these new Star Wars trilogy movies, not like Force Awakens or Last Jedi, but these replacement trilogies. And when you read it, you see that he had some kind of wild ideas that were on the fringe, ideas that were very similar to his ideas, in my opinion, that he had with the prequel movies. It's very similar stuff. It looks like he was going down that same path. And at the time, He wanted Disney slash Bob Iger to use his stuff, or at least use some of his stuff. Use some of my stuff, or work with some of my stuff, but put some of my stuff in this. And obviously Disney didn't put any of his stuff in this, and they just kind of rewrote the entire thing because they didn't like it. They didn't like it. They didn't think like the direction it was going in, and they really didn't like it. And to me, I know this isn't Disney like diluting something that was going to be hardcore to make kidified, because all Star Wars are made for children, or made for or not made for children. To me, they're just made for audiences to enjoy. I mean, the prequels aren't exactly the most hardcore thing, so it's not like Disney was like, oh, we don't want to do this because of prequels. They wanted to get as far away from George Lucas's the stink of the prequels. The thing is, ever since this came out, it's just been gasoline on the fire of everyone trying to vilify Disney, because you know, you either live long, because like Harvey Dent said, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain, because everyone's vilifying Disney. They haven't been vilifying Disney over the Sony thing, even though Sony's just as equally corrupt as they are. It's just Disney's way better at doing their jobs than Sony is. So who would you want to have Spider-Man, really? You can't just talk about Spider-Man 2. That should happen like a decade ago. Anywho. No, more than a decade ago. Almost 20 years ago. Anywho. I digress. Same thing's happening with Star Wars, is people are rewriting history. Now all of a sudden the prequels weren't that bad. Like all of a sudden you hear all these people like, oh well, at least it was George's vision. Well, his vision sucked. Left to his own devices, George Lucas will make a steaming hot piece of crap. Those prequels were not good movies. They had good things in them, but they were not good movies. And the thing is, people, I hate fandom when they do this shit. When they're mad about something, they start rewriting history all of a sudden. Because Christian Harloff has mentioned this many times before on Collider, is they didn't even have Star Wars stuff at Star Wars Celebration. They didn't have prequel stuff. They didn't have prequel, my bad, not Star Wars, it's Star Wars Celebration. They didn't have prequel Star Wars stuff at Star Wars Celebration until recently. So like, why are we rewriting history all of a sudden? We're gonna sit here and pretend like all of you weren't angry at George Lucas. Tell the truth. Tell the motherfucking truth. And I hope you guys will tell the truth. None of you, if Disney didn't buy George Lucas films, none of you were gonna go see that next Star Wars movie, because all of you thought the prequels were garbage and you didn't want to go see anything else. It's the truth. And the thing is, I hate that people are rewriting history. People are going back and pretending like the prequels are these great things, like and trying to vilify. First of all, if I'm Bob Iger, I don't owe you a fucking thing, George. And everyone's trying to make it seem like Bob's this evil bad guy. Oh, I should have did fucking what? I paid him $7 billion fucking dollars. I don't gotta do a goddamn thing. What kind of shit is this? What are you gonna do? You bastards, get off your moral high ground. All of a sudden, you guys got a moral high ground. Like, you fucking know what it is to be a billionaire. Like, you know what it is to juggle that kind of shit. Like, you know what it is to make money. Like, you know what it is to for this all to work out. And all of a sudden, everyone's on their high horse. Like, oh, if I was Bob Iger, I would have done. No, you fucking wouldn't. Because you got to remember, when they bought him, this is literally at the time where Twitter was attacking Lucas's daughter, where George Lucas was getting called all kinds of shit. You guys can't rewrite history, okay? You guys cannot do that. I hate when people do that. You guys cannot be the same people who came after George, came after the prequels, to now all of a sudden be like, you know, maybe they will. No. Get over it. Business is business. George ain't crying. George got $7 fucking billion off of that. 4 in cash. And at the very least, even if I was wrong about the 7, I know he got 4. I wish I could get stabbed in the back. Please, someone stab me in the back and leave $4 billion. Stab me. Don't stab me. Just fucking jab me. For $4 billion, jab the hell out of me. And no one told him to sell it. He didn't have to sell it. He could have kept it. No, he chose to sell it because he knew none of you were going to go see it. And now all of a sudden you guys want to rewrite history. Like I said, I hate this shit. I hate that they're doing this now. It's like the same thing with the Spider-Man thing. All of a sudden, fucking Sony's got this amazing track record that we just came out of nowhere. Why? Like out of nowhere. Why? Because of fucking Spider-Man 2 a decade ago? Because of the first Spider-Man longer ago than that? Why? Because Venom made money, but everyone knows that movie was a piece of crap. Spider-Verse was amazing, it was great, but that was only because Sony didn't give a fuck about it. So why are we rewriting history to fit narratives instead of facts? Facts are, Disney messed up. Last Jedi was messed up. They messed up, they tried to make it something it wasn't. Kathleen Kennedy isn't the right person for it. But the fix isn't to give George power, okay? That's not the fix. That's not the fix. George has got wild, insane freaking ideas. Some of that shit he was pumping out there, I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. No wonder the prequel sucked. So, I just wanted to make this video to put my opinion out there about the George Lucas thing. I think it's a bit ridiculous. I think people are rewriting history to make it seem more sympathetic than it's not. People were not on board with George Lucas's vision. It's why he sold it. He sold it for a hell of a lot of money. He can be mad all he wants, but if I was Disney, I'm like, well, give the fucking money back and you can have it. But he wouldn't do that, now would he? So that's the thing. I'm like, dude, like, what do you want them to do? Now, Disney is doing the right thing right now. They've slowed down. Like, that's the thing. No one's talking about that Disney is learning the right lessons here. They've slowed down on the Star Wars movie. They're no longer making those prequels. The Mandalorian looks amazing. And nobody wants to talk about that now. They just want to talk about this because Disney is the villain. And no matter what, for every good thing they do, don't forget that they're the evil empire. Now, thank you for joining me on the Comic Gaming Movie Show. Please remember to like and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.